What's up, everyone? Flashcraft. That's right, it's Beau here from Flash TV Talk, and a new day has dawned here on Flashcraft Earth 2. The Minecraft update is in full effect, and as you can see, I felt bad about, as you recall, we had like the EOTech sign. It was kind of floating here, and I had just talked about how I didn't like floating things, and I thought, you know what? Let's take this opportunity to create our very own billboard here at Central City to promote EOTech, at least the name of EOTech, if nothing else. And also, put it so that, as the construction's going on, it's kind of looming a little bit in the background over there. Yeah, I think it works. And you'll also notice I have put some of these new blocks to good use. That beautiful logo, I think it's going to look great. And I'm really excited to see how the Flashcrafters enjoy it. The great thing is, because of those new blocks, they're nice and shiny, especially that copper. It's going to last forever, and it'll always look that shiny. And there's no reason to worry about that. No, this is great. I really love the fact, because I loved the EOTech, like the font, so to speak, but I never was a big fan of, especially the birchwood. I didn't think it felt kind of the tech feel that I wanted for EOTech. And so that copper really does kind of come in and is really nice. So excited for that. But that is not the only reason that it is a new day here on Flashcraft, because, since recording the last episode, something has happened. There has been a massive, massive tragedy. So, as you know, here on Flashcraft, the seat of power, the seat of power is the seat of the Supreme Leader in Mount Zoom. I have been the Supreme Leader for quite some time, and now that puts me in charge of the entire Earth. But as soon as I became Supreme Leader, the people of Central City decided that they wanted Central City to have its own leadership and their own governance, and so they elected Will as their mayor. Now, Will, he has been, the tension that exists between the role of the mayor and the Supreme Leader, it's there. It's been there. And Will has been, dare I say, a formidable opponent, a nemesis, the likes of which I could not have predicted. Now, don't get me wrong, I have thwarted him at every single turn, so it's not like, you know what? I guess he did get the diamonds back. Okay, almost every single turn, I have thwarted him and been thwarted less than have I dished out the thwartedness. But regardless, he has been a worthy adversary and one that I've enjoyed kind of our back and forth on. But ultimately, I am the Supreme Leader of Earth 2. That is just the reality. And recently, Will decided that he no longer wanted to be mayor. He wanted to take some time off, and he wanted to kind of toss it back up as we kind of enter into this last phase of Earth 2 and let somebody else, take the reins of the city. So, that means it's election time, or at least it would have been. Because as one Fox McCloud was going to prep the voting booth and get things cleared up, he was attacked by a creeper. And not only did Fox get attacked, but as you can see, the voting booth was absolutely destroyed. Absolutely just decimated. Our book of laws that used to sit here collecting all of the results from every single election that we've ever had. Not just, mayoral election, but I mean, we have voted on various things, like, for example, beds. There's supposed to be beds in every single shop. That was a decision that was put to vote. All right, EOTech is a little glitchy. This is because it's the red shop. The red shop was glitchy. EOTech is fantastic. But as I was saying, yeah, beds in shops, that is something that we all voted on as a requirement. And those are how we've kind of made group decisions for Central City. And yeah, the book of laws is gone. Now the laws still, I think we're all on the same page. The law the magic was not in the book. The laws are the laws. That was just the records of said laws. So those are still the case. But regardless, this has really been the way in which all Flashcrafters have decided things. And, with this occurring, with the voting booth being destroyed and our mayor kind of asking to step down, I have no choice. And believe me, I have no choice in this matter. I want to make that very clear. I have no choice but then to step up as Supreme Leader and take command of Central City in a way that I never intended to. Never intended to. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. So we've had to do some reorganization here at City Hall. So, before you had kind of the mayor's office at the top. Now it needs to be very clear here in Central City, Supreme Leader and Acting City Manager. That is me. The mayor in name only. Now, Will, even though Will wants to step down, I have, as Supreme Leader, required him to remain mayor in name only. He has no authority. He has no power other than to enact my will. So Will is literally my will, if you will. That was not intentional, but I'm glad it happened. So he is mayor in name only, and has no official power. And the goal is, of course, to get this voting booth fixed so that we can return to fair elections here in Central City, so that the people can make the laws that they see fit. So we are in charge, of the city. And this is a top priority for us, is getting democracy back, getting the vote back to the people. That is a top priority. However, it's not the only priority. So for one thing, as I've been mentioning this before, but as Supreme Leader, it can be a little confusing having my office at LexCorp Plaza and everything. I am acting CEO and head of the board of LexCorp, but I'm also Supreme Leader, and those are two different roles. And so I need another office here to really represent the fact that I am, Supreme Leader and Acting City Manager. And so, Will's got his own style for sure, but we're gonna do some updates here. I am, and just so you know, I am gonna actually message him to make sure he's okay with me updating City Hall a bit here and putting my own flair. I don't have to, because I'm the Supreme Leader, but I'm a nice guy. So I'm gonna ask him, make sure he's cool with it. But yeah, so as I mentioned, we are going to get those the voting back. It is one of our top priorities. Here's a list of all of our top priorities, goals, tasks, in order of importance. First of all, we are going to set up a temporary office for the Supreme Leader. That's in here. This is a top priority. Now, granted, I guess by doing this, I've sufficiently started that process. So this might actually end up taking a little bit longer. Because this is what I really want to work on today. I want to update the main road into Central City and give us a drone-powered sign that hovers over the city, labeling it as Central City. And I'll show you more about that in a few minutes. Then I want to make sure that we update and protect the Historic District. As you may recall, the Historic District is over there. It's got the Red Room that the the League of Assassins was using as kind of their headquarters. And it's a cool room. We want to make sure that is protected. Even though the LexCorp versus Ra's al Ghul war, I suppose, is over, battle for supremacy of the city is over. I think it's clear, who won, given the fact that LexCorp Plaza stands tall and this little, tree that was supposed to be the home base of Ra's al Ghul. Anyway, so we want to mark off what is the Historic District so that it's clear. That was a little piece, a little sampling of time there. And all right, so there's the Historic District update the roads in general. So not just the one coming in, but City Hall, especially now that this is my office and my base of operations temporarily until, of course, democracy is restored to Central City. Since this is going to be my home, I need it to feel more connected to the city. So we are going to work on making some roads here. I'm actually really glad for this opportunity because it is a little tricky. The Shrine of Ra's al Ghul is not an overly complicated machine, but it does take a little bit of kid gloves, if you will, little silk touch to ensure that we can kind of create a road system over it without destroying it, because I'm kind of proud of how the redstone works there, and I really don't want to mess that up. So that we will get a nice little road system going in that'll also not interfere with the Historic District. I think that'll be great. And then over here, this road system will need to be updated, because I think since we are going to be building Star Labs, I know we've gone back and forth on this a couple of times. Pretty sure that road to nowhere is actually a road to Star Labs. Now, it's not going to start back there. It's going to start probably more like right here. And so we'll be getting those coordinates to the Flashcrafters and getting all the quartz and all the concrete and all that kind of good stuff collected so we can get going on that. All right, so there you go. Then a facelift for Iron Heights and the Town Hall. Again, I want to make sure that Will's cool with it because Will has kind of created the Town Hall as it stands today. There are some how do I say this? Just some color palette changes that might need to occur here on the window. I do like the yellow, I do like the red, but if we were to reverse those, it might make a little bit more sense, at least for the time being. Anyway, but besides that, there's also kind of some little little touches I'd like to put here, there, and maybe utilize some of the new blocks that we just got in, with especially kind of the copper and the deep slate. I think could also add for a nice little enhancement, and also maybe give it a little bit more of a, shall we say, menacing look, which again, it's temporarily. But again, I'll check with him first. And then the Iron Heights facelift, I think he chimed in. I think everybody saw kind of my thoughts for some touch-ups there, and got behind the ideal. But we're gonna reduce that I and kind of combine the I and the H into a sign, and then also kind of give it a few little what do you call it? Spires, I suppose, little peaks, little things, pikes at the very top to give it a little bit more of a menacing look. Menacing is going to be a little bit of a theme here, not overly so, because this is Central City, and Central City, while I am in control of Central City, I don't want to overly change the overall feel of Central City. I do want this to feel very much like our shared space, but there's a few little items that, as Supreme Leader, I want to take a few liberties here. And then I want to build a visitor center as well. As we get kind of close, we're going to be setting up Central City and the world as a whole so that we can save it to download later. And I think it'd be cool if, when you're kind of walking into Central City, not only do you have a nice big Central City sign welcoming you, but a little visitor center where we might be able to write notes and kind of leave it there so that when maybe we wait to read them until after we download the world and that sort of thing. I think that would be kind of fun for each other. And then Memorial Park, I've kind of done some looking. I think there's a nice little space across from where I want to put the visitor center, where a nice little park would be nice. Probably something else. This is not an exhaustive list of top priorities, but probably something else. And then, again, all of these are top priorities, but this is very specifically the order of where they fall in the priorities. And then we're going to fix the voting booth. So all the way down here at the very tail end of the list of top priorities is the voting booth. So yeah, right after probably something else, we are going to fix that voting booth. And yes, I want it to be clear. I love democracy. I love Central City. These emergency control that I have taken of the city will be handed to the future mayor, whoever that may be. And if Will wants to, at that time, rerun for mayor, he certainly can. So, or maybe Fox. I think Fox has kind of expressed some interest in wanting to run for mayor. He'll have his opportunity. Eventually. Oh, that sign is definitely changing. The statue right here. We have changed this back so many times. You know what? We're going to keep you for now. But yeah, we might have to make it illegal and punishable by death and then imprisonment for changing the statue after I change it the way that it should be. And actually, you know what? I think what we may do is even take. I love this concept. I love the Flash statue. When I mentioned that Memorial Park, I think it might actually make a lot of sense in the Memorial Park because it'll be a nice kind of right near the entrance of Central City. All right, so we want to get to work today on the things that we need to get done. Those priorities. I think probably off camera. That's when I'll actually work on my office space. But in terms of what I want to do here with the new entry road and sign. So let's look at the way things are now. When you log in, if you were to, arrive at Spawn is right over there next to the War Memorial. Now, the War Memorial, our war with the Creepers, which was supposed to be a success, but I guess they just destroyed our democracies. So that's, substantial point Creepers. No denying that fact. But anyway, so you log in, you spawn in rather, and you're right here, and you've got our beautiful team build of the Hall of Justice. Still so very proud of this, and this was just such an amazing build. And then off to the side here is where you've got Central City. Now, you might be thinking like, well, hang on, why did you put it over there? Why didn't you maybe build it around Spawn? Well, that is a good question. And maybe in Earth 2, maybe we'll do things differently. But this is the way we did it this time because over there was a already established village. And so the thought was that we just kind of build around the village and that would become the new Central City. And then the Hall of Justice was just kind of nicely framed with this, kind of opening and clearing. And so that was the mindset. But on future Earths and future seasons, specifically on Earth 3, we probably will build Central City around Spawn. And it'll be, very, very, I say Central City. It might not be Central City. It may be a different city. Perhaps Earth 2 Central City is the theme. But in an update that is going to involve a lot of cliffs and a lot of caves, those caves, there might be another DC city that needs focus. We're not going to be Batcraft. Don't get me wrong. We're going to be Flashcraft, but it's DC themed all around. So we'll take a look and see what happens then. But anyway, regardless, so the idea is that you come over here, you've got the Hall of Justice, and then you've got this road that leads to Central City. But the thing is, it doesn't. It actually kind of leads to this. And then you turn, and then it takes you to Central City. Now, I made this sign, and I've never been all that thrilled with it. This has been mostly a placeholder. And so here's what I'm thinking. We're going to have a nice sign, a very, very nice sign that is going to be hovering above the city, drone-powered, so there'll be drones holding it. As I expressed in the past, I don't necessarily love when things are just floating. Strange, time anomalies notwithstanding. And the idea is that this is actually going to be just a straight shot. So we're going to continue on. We're actually going to change up this road a little bit. I'm going to remove the yellow, and it's going to go straight into the city. We're going to take the flag. We're going to put it up on that little hill right where the birch tree is and fly the flag right there. And the sign itself, I'm thinking, is going to hover right over here above the trees. At one point, I really wanted it like right here above the sign, but the number's off. So it's an even number instead of an odd number. So you don't really have that kind of central feel, and it would just feel off. So why not lean into that, that offness, and instead of trying to aim for a symmetry that is not going to feel right, just, go put it over here. And that way it also doesn't block, too many people's signs and builds. As much as that wool was the first thing that you could see over Central City, it's too much of a historic eyesore to get rid of. So we want to make sure that we keep that there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be building out this road. We're going to put that sign up there. And yes, let's jump into it. Okay, so we got our road laid down, and as you just saw, we've got the beginnings of our sign. And I guess I just realized just how dark it looks. So we need to fix that. We need to fix that sooner rather than later. Otherwise, the people of Central City will revolt about the mob spawner we've created right above the entrance to the town. So this was tricky. This was really tricky to try to get the height right because I don't want it too high, but at the same time, I also don't want it too low where like it's literally covered up by the trees. You almost kind of want to, I don't know, I think this is about right. I was trying to kind of think about perspective. I always try to think about where somebody might see it the first time. And so, yeah, you're coming out over here, you see, boom, you see Hall of Justice. You're like, oh, what's this over here? And then you'll see, Central City, and you'll start making your way. And yeah, and so like it kind of comes into view. I don't know. I think that's right. Maybe could have gone up a block higher or two, but I'm feeling confident about it. I'm feeling pretty confident about it. We need to get the text, and we clearly need to light that up. So I will have to work on that. We don't want a tree growing there. And as you can see, we got our little drones up there, keeping it up in the air. So that's what it's all about. And yeah, cleaned up the walkway area right here. Now, my thought process is it's going to go here, and then we'll have kind of a path that will lead both to the historic district as well as to town hall back there. And then we've got also, just kind of this will remain fairly similar to the way that it's been before. We're not going to get rid of the old path. It is still out here. And what basically this does is it frames up the area that I think will be kind of our memorial park, if you will. So that'll be really nice. We'll have kind of this park right next to the post office. And as I mentioned too, I want to have a bit of a visitor center. And yes, Memorial Park will go over here. Visitor Center would go kind of right here. This would be kind of like a little small area booth type of situation that we might see over here. This path I'll end up having to remove some of these structures, which is kind of ironic because this is bringing us to the historic district. I'll probably keep one of them, maybe this and these two as kind of like, it draws your eye. Maybe the original Beall as well. But these will probably go to create our path that will lead to this. We'll also clean up some of these trees, make the entrance a little bit more substantial. This was always just here as kind of like mostly so that people knew this, so that there was a clear definition of we don't build beyond this point, we don't tear down beyond this point, and that will end up being the case. We'll also end up leaving, I think, most of the trees, even though this thing is massively in the middle of the path, that's just kind of part of it. That's the historic district. We'll probably patch this up as this came from a creeper, and maybe do a little replanting here. Get our get things with the way that they were in their prime. This is a restoration of the historic district. That's what it is. It's a restoration of the historic district. So that'll be good. That'll be really good. I remember our day one villager was like right here. He was like our only one, and then he got away. And I'm also debating whether or not to put Central City on the backside too. That red sand block, I spent a lot of diamonds just getting that. Just getting the amount that it took to make the border. And yeah, I need to make the letters and everything else. And I think I actually bought out what Fox had. So I'm not entirely sure what to do. I've got to remember where the Badlands is. I think it's by somebody's base. I just can't remember where. But we might need to go out and fetch more. Hey, look! Oh no! The EOTech sign! It's starting to rust! Corrosion! Oh, the EOTech sign! No! Oh no, who could have foreseen this? I thought the copper was supposed to last forever! This was our new block! How could this have happened? This doesn't represent the good quality products you can get at EOTech. People are going to start to think that we're low quality or buggy or not good. I think I've made a huge mistake. Or has it all been part of the plan? Oh, don't you worry. It's all part of the plan. I was curious how long it would take to see that copper start to get that corrosion. And so, yeah. That's cool. It's going to be fun to kind of watch that over time and see what ends up happening. I don't know if it'll be a fast thing, a slow thing, or a no thing. But in the meantime, It gives that sense of history that I think the creators of Minecraft wanted. And so now that's right. Flashcraft has its own little sense of history. Although if I could have chosen, I would have chosen like the O to start to corrode first, because now the top of the thing of the H, I don't know, it looks a little weird. But that's all right. It's a new day. We got a sign. We got a new road. We got EOTech, and we have got the Supreme Leader stepping down from the mountain and taking charge and doing that which only he can do. Putting things right and restoring the city after a tragic, tragic creeper attack. Flashcrafters, need not worry. I'm here, and I got you. Until next time, goodbye.